Today we're taking a look at early American banjo and mandolin picks primarily. There are a few guitar picks here, and you may notice how few shapes there are in the traditional or near traditional 351 shape, such as this one and these two that are close to 351. Every other pick here is a mandolin shape or banjo shape. Mandolin shape usually being marketed as long and slender or wide and tall. Banjo shapes usually smaller and wider, such as this one here. But they were used interchangeably so far as their functionality. Same thing with guitar picks. At this time, the mandolin and banjo were still prominent, but the guitar soon to rise to its own in the 1930s. We do have picks going back as early as 1900 through the 1940s here. The older groups are right here, and the younger groups, 1930s and 40s if we want to call them that, are over here. This group has over 4 dozen different picks and 8 distinct tortoise varieties in matching celluloids, over 20 different shapes. It has 3 patented picks here. Right here we have the Naxted from 1914, the Towner and Carpenter patent for first cork grip pick in 1918. And here's a Birdwise pick. We're used to the Birdwise wire loop pick, but he had a shape that he had patented in 1925. And let's start with this group here, because this is the group that probably goes back to the 1900s, and that would include most likely these two candidates here in this very long mandolin picks, hand beveled, completely hand beveled, asymmetrical as most of these are. None of these have been machine tumbled right here. And in fact, the only ones that appear to have been machine tumbled are over in this group and a few here. The rest of these, not machine tumbled. Some of them just flush cut, no tumbling whatsoever, meaning their edges are rough. And we have 3 different grip features going on here. We've got the Naxted with rubber plugs. We've got the cork right here, 2 different types of cork rings. And then we have the holes for grip. Not a lot of diversity with the grips here, but we previously featured a group from this era with just unusual grip features. So if you haven't seen that, go back and take a look on YouTube and find that one with Bizarre Grips, I think it's titled. So our central group right here, very eye-catching with respect to modern picks. A lot of mandolin picks here. This is, I believe, to be a true 1918 Carpenter and Towner. It fits the patent. And we'll be doing this section on patents in the not too distant future, showing those patents, so you know that there is actually verifiable information, and you might get something out of it in terms of your own education. Really love this group. We call this the wide-banded tortoise style. This is wide-banded. That's wide-banded. That's wide-banded. They're all wide-banded. A more modern tortoise color doesn't have wide-banded such as this. Now, during this period, there were tortoise patterns that weren't wide-banded. That's closer to a style that's not wide-banded. You could see it's just a deep smoky blend right there. But as we hold it up, we could see some banding to it. And that's going to be featured on the next plate we're going to cover. Moving to the top part here. Wow, those sure do look pretty with their flashes of amber and medium bronze tones. And look at the variations here. And that's why I've kept them. Several of these may be related. These two here are probably related. This could have come from the same celluloid sheet, but this one looks really different, kind of like a fiery blend of celluloid. And this is a little more subtle in its colors, in terms of not as being as deep as this or this here. So another nice group of mandolin picks. Going over here, another 1920s group. Many of these were taken from the south and middle portions of the United States, all mandolin and banjo shapes, none of them beveled. This group down here we know to be from the 1920s because we have a Santos pick from 1926 printed on this same type of celluloid. And this one here, the banjo pick with the hole, there's a round swirl grinding in the celluloid, telling me that someone had attempted to put perhaps a metal cup grip on there or had one removed. And this flashy colors here, not to be confused with these, although there is some similarities, still they should be obviously different. And here's one down here that again has been hand cut on the sides, like so many picks I've mentioned from these early years of pick making, where cutting these sides like this at that steep angle appears to have been a habit. And we've seen a number of those so far, including one of the Martins. Going over here, now we have picks from the late 30s, 1940s, same with this group, but really beautiful swirls going on here. And here's a larger shape that's closer to a D'Angelo 348, but not quite. Larger than 351, that's for sure. And this is one of the widest cork rings with the widest inner diameter I have ever seen. Moving down to this group here, you'll see another Naxted, but unlike this one, which has the patent information written around it, this one doesn't, and it has different plugs, and there is a slight shape difference. So let's compare these two right now, because the Naxted style was made over a long period of time. There it is coming into focus, and if we bring this one up a little closer, we could actually see the patent information on it right there. You'll see patent 1914, November 10th. Wow, I wish they were all so easy to identify. And again, this one here, no patent information on it, but these were at least shown in catalogs up into the late 50s, early 1960s. So wonderful group here, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it. We could go through so many more details on it, and perhaps we will in the future if interest or request come in to do so. Thanks a lot. Joe Macy, FindPick7 at yahoo.com. Take care.